Hi, my name is Franklin Nolan. Today's date is September 9th, 2015. We are covering waiver of Section 402 Alpha of the Congressional Budget Act with respect to consideration of S660. 95th Congress of First Session, Senate Calendar Number 290, Report Number 95/311, Docket 95/1, SRPT 311. June 27th, Legislation Day, May 18th, 1977, order to be printed. Mr. Muniski of the Committee on the Budget submitted the following report. To accompany S-Res 208, the Committee on Budget, to which was referred to the resolution of Senate Resolution 208, waived the Section 402 Alpha of the Congressional Budget and Impound Control Act of 1974 with respect to consideration of S660, a bill which authorizes the Secretary of the Interior to enter into agreement with the Cherokee, Choctaw, and Choctaw Indian nations for the purchase and/or lease of the United States of each nation, rights and interests to the riverbed of the Arkansas River, and for the purpose of having consideration of the same reports favorably thereon, they recommends that the resolution to be agreed. Purpose of the resolution. Section 402 Alpha of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 provides that it shall not be in order in either the House or the Senate to consider any bill or resolution which directly or indirectly authorizes the enactment of the budget authority for a fiscal year unless that bill or resolution is reported in the House or Senate, as the case may be, on or before May 15th, preceding and beginning of such fiscal year, because S660, which authorized enactment of the new budget authority, which would become available in fiscal 1978, was reported by the Select Committee on Indian Affairs on June 27, 1977. A resolution waiving Section 402 Alpha, a budget act with respect to S660, must be adopted before the bill can be considered by the Senate, and reporting favorably on the resolution. The Budget Committee is simply recommending that the Senate proceeds to consideration of S660, and this is not prejudging the merits on the bill. Committee criteria. Budget Committee is extremely reluctant to recommend the act of adoption of resolution waiving Section 402 Alpha of the Budget Act. This section was included in the Budget Act to ensure that all authorizing legislation is considered as far as possible in advance of the fiscal year in which it takes effect, so that it could be considered in formulation and first concurrent resolution. In addition, this section was included to provide the Appropriations Committee with some reasonable notice of any appropriations for coming fiscal year, so that the Appropriations Committee can meet the appropriate timetables spelled out by the Budget Act. Legislation authorizing the enactment of the new budget authority, which is reported to the Senate after May 15th, could delay the enactment of appropriations bills past the Budget Act deadline of 7 days after Labor Day for the completion of the entire appropriations process. The legislation history of the Budget Act indicates that May 15th reporting deadline is not to be lightly waived. Under these circumstances, the budget of the Budget Committee is deciding whether the favorable report resolution waiving Section 402 Alpha of the Budget Act will consider factors including the reporting committee's efforts to meet the May 15th deadline, the delay of the appropriations process engendered by the late reporting of authorizations, and whether the enactment of the authorizations will significantly affect the national priorities established in the congressional budget. Budget applications. S660 authorizes the appropriations of up to $177 million for the Secretary of the Interior to purchase and/or use or lease the rights and interests of the Cherokee, Choctaw, and Choctaw Indian nations in the riverbed of Arkansas River in Oklahoma. The budget stipulates that the three tribes be paid no less than the appraised value of the property rights involved. It is estimated that if an agreement is reached, the outlays of the fiscal 1978 will be $65 million. This would pay for mineral rights. The obligations rate of the remainder of the funds is uncertain and could conceivably be paid out over the next 99 years. The authorization will not delay the appropriations process and be accommodated in a supplemental can be accommodated in the supplemental because the Selected Committee on Indian Affairs did not receive the authorizations fund until April 1st, 1977. It did not have a full staff until May, and therefore not able to meet the May 15th, 1977 reporting deadline. Under these circumstances, the Budget Committee reports favorably on Senate Resolution 208 and recommends that it be adopted. SR 311. Waiver of Sections 402 Alpha of the Consideration Budget Act with respect to considerations of the S660. 95th Congress, First Session, Senate Calendar Number 290, Report Number 95-311, Docket 95/1, SRPT 311. Today's date, 09/09/2015.